Hello and welcome to another Team Tiny Hop. This month we are doing shaped cards. So I was really excited to try and create a shaped card, make it a house out of the Spellbinder set that is actually a reversed banner, so it can be a pocket as well. So I took a 5¼ by 11 sheet of white paper. It's heavy duty cardstock, and I cut two of the largest banner dies out of it, and then I used the one smaller size to cut out a red for the house, and then I used the very top of the banner to make a roof line, and then I used a brick die or a brick stencil to put some color on there. And this is the same color, so it's cherry cobbler paper and cherry cobbler ink from Stampin' Up. So I kind of had to go heavy-handed on the ink because it wasn't really showing up as much as I would like. It was really super subtle. So it kind of got a little splotchy, but I actually liked the effect. I liked how it looked kind of old. And so I'm using a bunch of different dies here to create this. I do have a house builder die from Honeybee Stamps, but I wanted to use a bunch of pieces from a bunch of different companies that I haven't used in a while. So the Spellbinders one is the base of the house, and then I have this tree or fence line one. I think it's from Sizzix. It's very old. And then I have a grass one from Tailored Expressions, and then the tree line is also from Tailored Expressions. And I cut the fence out of heavy duty cardstock, but this embossing folder that I used, it always seems to tear up the paper. It's a wood grain, and it's kind of rough on it, so I ended up doubling up my fence line, thinking that I only really needed one fence. But I end up, you'll see, I go back later and I add another 3 posts to the fence because it's not quite long enough to go across all the way on my card. And then I use it's more of a, I guess, kind of a brick die or a brick embossing folder for my roof line, but I used it sideways so that I want to try to make it look kind of like shingles. So it's not ideal, but it works. And then I just wanted to get a lot of color and definition on the fence and the roof, so I added some ink and just kind of went rough with that just to get some different dimension on there. And I also am using a Congrats die that is from Stampin' Up, so I really have a whole slew of different companies here that I'm working with, and a lot of these are really old, but I'm sure you probably in your stash maybe has something that'll work, and that's kind of what I wanted to show you, is just using what you have to create something completely unique to you. And so this is going to be a congrats card for a new house. I wasn't sure who I was giving this to, but I do have a friend that I work with who recently bought a new house, so I'm thinking maybe I will give this to her. And then I used, so it's an arrow punch from Stampin' Up, but it kind of looks like a house as well. But I just turned that upside down and then cut the edge off to make a chimney stack. I actually do have a chimney stack die, and I thought I did, but I couldn't find it when I was looking through everything. So I found this arrow punch and thought, oh, well, that's going to work just fine. So, and it really just a rectangular shaped piece of paper would work fine as well. But so I'm adding some yellow as crushed curry to the white background, and I know it looks like a hot mess, and it is, but I just wanted to get some kind of yellow shining behind the house and some blue around that, because I just wanted to kind of look like there was a sunset maybe behind the house. So it doesn't matter that underneath is a hot mess because you're not going to see that when I'm done. And then I just added a little bit of green at the bottom just so that it's not stark white down there, because I'm not going to bring the house all the way down to the bottom. So I don't even know if you'll be able to see that, but I wanted to make sure. And I cut out my grass and my tree line and from a couple different colors of green, and I'm just going to add some ink and touch those up so that there's just more color and dimension. And then I use my poker tool to raise up these little edges on this tree to get it to pop up, because it just adds a lot of dimension. They just kind of lay flat there if you don't poke them out a little bit. But going from the back actually was the fastest way to do that. So learn something new every day. I was trying to do it the hard way. And this is actually a tree line, so it connects at the bottom, and I just ended up cutting them shorter so that they weren't so big for the house. So I do have some smaller trees, but they were quite small for this house that I'm building. And then I used the two different color grasses to, I just shifted them slightly so it just looks like there's more there, and just gives it different colors and stuff. And just kind of putting everything together and gluing everything together. And that's what's kind of nice about this, is that it's just a lot of piecing together different parts, not a whole lot of coloring here. I do end up using some pens because I got kind of crazy with the blending and got green where I didn't really want it and stuff. So I was trying to kind of fix that with on the tree trunk with some markers. And I ended up going back and adding some Night of Navy on the blue background, because the blue I had used was just too light. It wasn't really giving the impression, and didn't really look great with those colors and stuff. So and as I put this together, I'm just kind of seeing where everything is going to go. And you know, I figured out I needed more of a fence, and I just feel like it needs something else. So I'm kind of placing that and kind of figuring out what else do I want to add to this, because I can just see that there's something missing. So here's my house builder set, and I am from Honeybee Stamps, and I just take one of the windows and I'm going to add a window to the side here. And it's a little small, but I think it works in the end, because it just looks like more of a side view of a house. I didn't want to put a door there because I didn't really want it to be the front door. And the two doors I have is either way too big or way too small. And then I added a little black strip of paper because I just felt like that the line of the roof was just kind of undefined, and just wanted that to be a little bit more clear. And I used some vellum on over the curtains in the window just to kind of give it more of that glass look. And I put the glue on, because you know vellum's really hard with the glue, so I put the glue on the back of the frame of the window. And glued it on that way so that you're not going to see any glue on the actual vellum. And I did have to trim the curtains a little bit. I went a little bit over, and so the window didn't quite cover all of that. And here I am coloring coloring the frame of the window, and I think by the time I'm done you don't really tell that it's colored at all, but it is what it is, you know. Just kind of, this wasn't had a plan at all. I didn't really have a plan. I'm just kind of winging it here. I do have other sets that are shaped die cuts. I have a camper and an apple, and then of course the house builder, which also can be a beach house and stuff. But I kind of wanted to just show you something using things that weren't traditionally used for obviously a shaped card. So this is my attempt at doing that, and I hope that you get some inspiration to use some things that you have and make a shaped card yourself. So, because you can use circles, or you can use hearts, and all kinds of basic shapes. So I've just put on my window, and then here's where I figure out I need more of a fence. So I go back and make another piece of a fence. And I did do the same kind of shape on the back of the card. So my original idea was to make this like a big tag for like a gift bag, and like put an eyelet at the very top and make it into a big tag that you can have a card. So that didn't really work. I ended up attaching it at the top, you'll see later, and it didn't open, but it made a really cute little stand. It would be like a really cute little pop-up stand to put on a desk or something. So if I just like kept it as a card and kept it that way as a pop-up stand, you could put it like on a desk. So you can, I'm cutting the top apart because it didn't attach the way I had imagined it would and open the way I imagined it would. So I ended up just making a little strip of paper. It's a 1 inch and just folded down the halfway mark, and then I use both double-sided adhesive tape and glue to really secure that there so that it'll hold tightly together. And so then I needed to cut an inside piece to cover up kind of all the mess that happened as I'm creating this with ink blending and everything. And I did take out the part of me adding the flowers. It's pretty basic. Please check everyone out on the Hop by searching #TeamTinyJune2022 Hop. Till next time, thanks so much for watching.